My Pinterest account for Twins Mommy is an established account. It's an old account because I started it when I started Twins Mommy, and I started Twins Mommy in 2017. I mean, we're looking at around 8 years of an established Pinterest account. And if you've been on Pinterest for that time, then you know that group boards were a huge strategy for many content creators on Pinterest. If you were not on group boards, you were not growing. And so when I got onto Pinterest in 2017 and learned about all the Pinterest strategies that people were using at that time, I knew that group boards had to be part of my strategy. And over that first year or two, I was able to get into very popular group boards, from big creators like, Sarah Titus, for example, a lot of people from the work from home industry that I was close to since I was also writing about working from home. So I got into their huge Pinterest boards as well. And I stayed on them for years. I got into Tailwind and started scheduling my pins on Tailwind. And I was doing good. I was getting traffic. I think at that time with just Pinterest, it was growing. I mean, I have to look back at my reports that I shared on Twins Mommy, but it was, I remember jumping 10,000 page views in a month. And I thought that was amazing. And it was all because of Pinterest. Then I started doing SEO and started ranking in Google. And I made it a mission to change my Twins Mommy blog from Pinterest traffic to Google traffic. And that strategy became my first course, Ready Set Blog for Traffic. That was a successful blog course as well. I grew my email list. All that great. But things have changed. Things have changed ever since Google decimated many of my niche blogs. This blog too. I mean, at one point I was getting, I want to say 80,000 page views with Google traffic and some Pinterest, of course, because I didn't remove all the Pinterest traffic that I had on my blog. But then once that hit in Google, I was struggling. I didn't give up on this blog, but I was like, there's no point in creating content anymore. Like, Pinterest doesn't like my content. And at that time I was just primarily blogging about blogging, blog tips for mom bloggers, how to start a blog, all this stuff. So it wasn't really taking off. And, my Pinterest profile was always about blogging tips. Even you can see here, I haven't even changed the profile name. Start a blog for moms. It's blog tips and work from home. So I leaned into that for many years until I recently shared on this channel how I am changing my blog. I am turning it from SEO to Pinterest back again, and it is working amazingly well. Part of that I realized at the time was these group boards. I was on over 100 group boards. I probably on this profile, I don't know because I didn't capture how many boards I had on this, but I can guarantee it was close to 150 active boards of mine, and mostly I'd say over 95% group boards. Okay. About 6 months ago is when I stopped pinning on those group boards because around 6 months ago, I started a new Pinterest strategy. It is detailed in Pin and Win, my masterclass, and I started multiple niche sites that did not rely on group boards. As well, I started Sponge Hacks and did not get on any group boards. So even at that time, which was in 2021, I just created boards for Sponge Hacks and did not try to get on any group boards. I don't think I'm on any group boards on my Sponge Hacks account because I don't recall reaching out to anyone. So why did I stop 6 months ago pinning to these group boards? Well, first of all, I stopped using Tailwind because Tailwind was the one that was sending all my pins to these group boards and not really sending. Maybe in a week, I might send 2 or 3 pins to my own boards. So I was effectively starving my Pinterest account. I didn't realize it. I mean, my traffic wasn't growing and I didn't really care because I was like, wow, I'm finding so much growth on these niche sites. I was creating new boards and I wasn't on group boards. And I was like, wow, this is working. This is working. And when I come and look at this profile, it's so weighted down with like 150 group boards. Like, what am I going to do? So then I just sort of like, I'm not going to pin to it. I'm going to forget about them. And I'm just going to just slowly just remove anything from those group boards and see what happens. So I did that around 6 months ago. Nothing was really happening. Like, I just stopped on those boards for the most part. I know that I I hung on to those established, like, the ones from Sarah Titus and those big influencers, Making Sense of Sense. I was on her group board. Like, I was like, I can't stop pinning to those. Like, those are big influencers in their space. So like, I know I was still pinning to just like a few what I felt like were just like really valuable group boards, and I didn't want to let go. But around Christmas time is when I did some cleaning, I guess, and I started to remove boards from my account. I do have a video on this channel that I removed 50, and I did that, and I was like, okay, let's see what happens. And everything was fine. Nothing huge happened. So then I started to get a little bit more bolder and started to remove more boards. I did not do this in one day. You don't want to do anything drastic like that on your Pinterest profile. It'll look like spam, and they'll shut down your account and all that, and you have to ask them to give it back and all that. So I just did it throughout December. I would go to my analytics. I would scroll down to these boards. I would go to them and then remove myself from them. And this can also tell me, is it even worth it? Because I wasn't pinning to those boards, they weren't really showing up as my top boards anymore, right? They weren't driving traffic. So I knew it was okay to remove myself from those boards. So over time, I removed over 100 boards. And then what I did, once I did all that, I changed my strategy on Pinterest. Started to use the pin and win strategy for an established blog. I'm like, can this really work? The biggest takeaway is it can if you have the right content. You need the right content for it to work. I'm able to get now 1 million monthly views, and I did this in a course of like 30 days because of my pivot to more Pinterest friendly topics, like you can see here about Valentine's Day stuff, decorating, home decor. I'm trying to lean into gifts. I'm trying to lean into all of that. And I am sharing now non-text pins. This was a huge gamble because I only shared text pins here, and I decided not to try because on Sponge Hacks, people loved these straight up image pins. They'd save them for their boards for inspiration. And it took a while. I had to condition my audience to actually save these pins, click on them. See, they're clicking on them here. This one's saved. Not all of them work, but I'm getting actually click-throughs, which is amazing. But here, 4 saves on this one. Here's 4 saves. It's 10 clicks over. So even my straight images are getting people back to my blog, which I thought was amazing. So I started to do that more, and it's working. So why were group boards just not a functional part of my strategy? What happened? What was going on? Well, Pinterest slowly evolved and changed their priority with boards. Basically, they were deprioritizing group boards. People were just pinning random stuff to those boards, and there was no rhyme or reason. Of course, there are group boards that were very niched, just recipes, or just breastfeeding content, or just postpartum content, or just crafting. Of course, there were some, but a lot of my group boards were lifestyle based. I could pin anything from blog tips to working from home to any kind of crafting stuff that I ended up publishing later on. So Pinterest started showing creators that wasn't the right thing. That's not what they wanted. They wanted people to create boards for their content that wasn't muddied or clouded with other people just pinning random stuff to it. Now, I will tell you, I also had 2 group boards that I started for this account. I had 2 of them, and those were the last ones that I removed. For the last year, I put no information about how to join that group board, so no one was joining the group board. So that was the first step, that I didn't have anyone join. And then I eventually removed it. I eventually removed those closer to December than in the start of this process, which was around 6 months ago. All right, so it took me a while to get through these. Again, I didn't do this fast. I did, a few a week and then just waited. So I removed the group boards that I hosted. Now, I believe I hosted 2, but if I go to my archives, I think I have more. I didn't realize it, but I think I have this one, that one. I don't remember. I don't think this is mine. Although I have usually with the picture in the front, that's mine, but that's not That's not mine, is it? Oh yeah, maybe it is. Yeah, I had a few, I guess. And then my freelance writing, I've always had. And I had one that I shared with just one person. Like, I have a couple of group boards there, I noticed. But I also archived these ones. I didn't want to delete particularly my own boards because they had my own pins on them. And I don't know, I didn't want to remove those. So I removed ones that did not fit my pivot of Pinterest friendly topics. So I would no longer write about email marketing, anything about growing your email list. I do have Pinterest tips. I don't know why I removed this one. I guess there's too many Pinterest boards I had, I guess. I'm not sure. I don't share any of my writing stuff. That's on another account. I'm nothing about Facebook and marketing. I don't know. These didn't fit into my overall aesthetic of my Pinterest boards, I guess. So I didn't save them and just archived them instead. So I did that. So I removed the group boards. Then I archived a lot of non-essential boards that did not fit my new content. And then from that point on, I really started creating new boards that fit with my new content. So Christmas stuff, I never blogged about that. So I have boards about Christmas stuff. Valentine's Day as well. I made more boards about certain topics that were popular on my site, like jobs for teens, jobs for kids. As you can see, there are some Pinterest things, there are some social media things. I just don't have a lot of that. And a starter blog, I do have a couple, but it's not flooded with it. I just wanted to keep a couple of them. I created my bulletin board pin was always popular, but I never had a board for it. So I created a board for it. So you see, as I was creating new content, I needed new boards to go on them so that I can populate my Pinterest profile. That's what I ended up doing. And the result, I want to honestly say that it didn't impact my traffic or my profile right off the bat. But I think because I also merged that strategy of removing group boards by pinning Pinterest topics and then creating Pinterest topic boards, that mitigated anything that I was doing. Like, it didn't hurt or damage my account. It only actually made it stronger. I wasn't weighed down by all those non-relevant boards. And then I can actually really clean out my profile to hey, look, these are the only things that I'm sharing that my blog is about. And it's proven with the traffic that I'm getting. It's proven by the impressions that I'm growing. I'm also adding another strategy to that to really grow my monthly views, which is helping me grow my traffic that I share in Pin and Win. I just uploaded that lesson, but I'm happy with the progression of the impressions, the outbound clicks as well on the up and up, and the saves even a bit higher. So I'm really happy with that. All of those are indications that my profile has slowly improved so that people are actually engaging with my pins, and my Pinterest profile overall gets that reputation of having engaging pins. So I just wanted to share that with you. If you were thinking about oh my gosh, I never want to I'm so afraid to delete boards and I don't know what to do. I don't know. Like I said, I deleted the group boards, but I archived my own boards. So I don't even know if you can actually delete your actual boards. I think you can only archive them. And that hasn't hurt me at all. It's actually improved my traffic. It's improved my audience, I think, and the direction I want to go with this blog. So hopefully that'll help you. Let me know in the comments below if you have any specific questions about this. And if you want to know exactly how many pins you should be pinning per day, make sure to check out that video after this one. And I'll see you in that one. All right.